Thanks for joining me today. We've got the Volvo V70. Got a little problem with it. It was in for a service not too long ago, a few months ago, but all of a sudden the overfill oil warning has been coming up on the dashboard. This car does lots of really short journeys, and it can be a problem with the diesels. If you're doing that kind of running, if it's idling a lot, you can get this problem where the diesel actually gets past the rings and starts to fill the sump up. So the sump has got a full level of oil and a bit of diesel on top, and it just pushes it over the limit. And this has got that, well, it's got no dipstick on it. It's got the warning level indicator inside the electronic one, and that is good enough to pick up a slight difference when it goes over the maximum and tells you all sorts of warning lights coming on. We've got to sort that out. We're going to have to get some oil out of it, and we'll check it, make sure that everything's okay. We're going to have to get it on the jacks, get it up in the air, and we'll get some oil out of it. Let's get the bonnet open. Now, the process for checking the oil on these is not straightforward. It's a bit of a palaver. You can't just start the car up. You click the wheel on the stalk and it takes you around to all the different settings. It comes up with the oil level on the dashboard, but it's blanked out. Because the engine's running, it doesn't like to check the oil level. You've got to do it with the engine off. So, we switch the engine off. We can go back in, we'll pop the lights on, 2 presses on the button. Yeah, press and hold the start stop button. The ignition lights come on. We can then turn the wheel on the side of this, on this indicator stalk on the left hand side, and it takes us then into the oil level menu. Let me bring you in so you can actually see that now. Okay, so you've got your little wheel toggle here. As we scroll around, you can see it changes the status to oil level. We then press the OK button on the end, and it takes us into the level. Now, again, the car's cold. I've not been running, so the engine oil is cold. It doesn't give us a reading. We've got to warm the engine up to get that to give us a reading. So when I said to you, it's not straightforward, that's a prime example of it. I just want to check the oil level, but you can't. The engine's got to be warmed up. Last night when the car was warm, we'd driven it, you go straight into that, bing bang bang, come straight up with the overfill. So let's get it warmed up. We'll take it for a spin and then we can check the oil properly. Okay, so we've been for a little drive. We'll just park it back up again, and then we'll check that level, and hopefully this time we can get a decent reading off it. Temperature's saying normal on the engine, so let's have a little look. Okay, so temperature's up to normal. Let's switch it off. Okay, so no feet on the pedals. Press the button once and then press and hold. Lights are up on the dashboard. Now we can turn the wheel. Press the OK button on the end to start with. Get rid of the warnings on the dashboard. Then we can turn the wheel, and it should bring us up to oil level. There we go, oil level. And now if we press OK on it, fingers crossed. Not available. Oh, good God. Okay, so we've waited 5 minutes since we've stopped the car. So let's see now if we can get some readings off it. We'll put the key in. We press the button once and then press it once and hold it. Ignition comes on. So press that. Oil level. Press OK on the end. Hello, we've got a result. Okay, there you go. That's what we were looking for. Oil level overfilled. I could have a couple of causes with this one. It's been into the garage, it had an oil change. I don't know how full they filled it. They may well have overfilled the engine slightly, so that it was up to the maximum before we've even started. And because obviously it's the short journeys as well, if it's just got a small amount of diesel into the fuel, into the oil, it's just raised that level slightly and brought the one light on. Let's get some out. We want to get about, I'd say, a litre out of this, and then we can check it again. Let's go and have a look, see what happens. We'll get the jacks out. We'll pop these right underneath, go under the chassis rail, right underneath the car there. We'll get one either side, get it up in the air, nice and high. We'll chuck an axle stand under there, and then we'll get underneath and drain some of this oil out. To make life difficult, they've held this under tray on with TX30 bolts. so there's no oil drain. Like on the BMWs, we've got a nice little cap. You've got to take the whole thing off on this one. So let's whiz this under tray down. Okay, so we've got 8 of those out. Now that tray's down, which then reveals this sump, and we've got at the back here a nice drain bung there to drop some of this oil out of here. Let's get a looks like a 17mm socket for that. Nice and clean under here though. No major issues going on there. So I've just put it in the kitchen and nicked the wife's best measuring jug. Put a little mark on it there for 1 litre, which is how much I want to get out of it. I've got my trusty oil drain tub there as well, so we don't spill any on the floor, because this can get messy. I pull my sleeves up and hopefully I'm not going to get covered too much in the oil. So let's drop that jug into there for a minute. Let's crack this off. Yeah, it is a 17, which is good. Right, okay, crack the bolt off. Let's undo it a tad. Right, is it going to be tight thread on here? Here it comes. Here it comes. Right, if I get absolutely covered in oil. Hopefully not. Try and hold that level. Okay, and here we go. I can feel it just starting to come out. Be careful not to drop out. I just want it a little bit. Here we go. Now, if this oil's really hot, it's going to burn my hand as well, so I've got to be careful not to. Oh yes, that's hot. Okay, here it comes. I'm coming up to my, it's about half there now. So that is the litre, so let's try and get this bung back in again. Oh yeah, I've done that without too much mischief. The oil doesn't feel particularly thin. If it was absolutely rinsed with diesel, it's like water. It's really, really thin. This feels like it's still got a bit of substance to it. But we'll go with this. We'll take a bit out, purely for the fact I can also make sure that the sensor's working. We've still got plenty of life left in this oil, because I say it's not been changed that long ago. Okay, got a bit of the old blue roll there just to clean up a tad. Another quick wipe down and get this done back up again. Nice. Right. Let's get the under tray back on and we'll check the level. Now again, unfortunately, because of how this system is, it's up on the jacks, the car's not level, it won't do an oil reading. We're going to have to drop it down, possibly run the car, then let it settle for another 5 minutes before we do a final check on it. Electronic sensors. Give me a dipstick any day of the week. There is an issue that we've got to be careful of, and that is if this oil level is really high and it is really watery because of the mix of diesel in there, it's not too uncommon for a thing called overrun, which is where the oil level gets that high, the oil vapour being made up by the crank whipping through the oil gets through the breathers of the engine and it gets sucked into the intake, and then the engine just winds up like, and you can't control it. It just smoke billowing out the back, and before you know where you are, you've blown your engine up, because they just keep on going. It's just, you can switch the ignition off and they just keep on running on the vapor. So we've got to be sure that we're not in any of those kind of situations, that we've not got a lot of oil getting into a lot of diesel getting into the oil, giving us a real problem. But this isn't that. But that's something to always look out for. If you have got a shed load of oil, diesel in your oil, then you have got an issue where you might get the overrun and destroy your engine. Right, they're all back up again. Let's get it down off the jacks. We'll let this settle for a bit. We'll do another check on it, and hopefully we'll get a decent reading. Right, and let's check this out and see what we've got going on now. We've got the ignition on, we'll press the button. We've got a low battery and all that, so let's clear all the warnings off. Then we can turn oil level. Oh, look at that. Wowzers. So we've took a litre out, and we are now just below that maximum level there. So that's a lot of oil there we've taken out, really. I was hoping we'd get it down one more noggin, but I'm happy with that. It's going to keep the warning light off, and we can keep his eye on it. Let's fire it up. Perfect. Like I said though, the grade of this oil is quite thin, 0W20, fully synthetic. It isn't the thickest of oil. You see, that's still got some good consistency to it though, good coloration, and it doesn't smell absolutely reek of diesel. So there we have it, oil's drained out, we've checked that level now, and it's all good. It's yeah, nice, just under the maximum. Happy with that. The engine itself holds 5.2 litres of oil, which is a fair amount. It's a pretty big sump, that is. So the litre that we've got, if the garage had just overfilled it slightly, I don't know, because I wasn't there when they filled it up. I don't know how much they've had in it. But like I say, all that idling, them short journeys, has probably just made that diesel into the sump, just pushed it over the edge a little bit. But so we've got that out. I should monitor this. We'll monitor it over the next few weeks and see what it's like, see if it increases or decreases or whatever. I think it's going to be okay, to be fair. Ready for the next service, which is going to be in another 6 months or so. So I'll keep my eye on it and we'll see how we get on. If it's been of use, I'd love to know your comments. Drop me some comments and we'll have a little discussion about it. But yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. I beg you, the jug will quick right round and get it back in the cupboard in the kitchen before she knows it's missing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.